All right, ladies and gentlemen of D-Class personnel, sit down. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Commander and I'm going to be briefing you on the SCP that you're about to go study out in the field, so pay attention. What we're looking at today, SCP-5811, Object Class Safe. Special Containment Procedures. Instructions for SCP-5811 are restricted to Level 4-5811 personnel. Description: SCP-5811 is a technique for the non-surgical removal of the human eye. The process is non-hazardous and subjects undergoing it experience no discomfort. Removed eyes can then be placed on a new surface medium which experiences topographical deformations to form a facsimile to a human orbit. Vision through the eye is retained at all points. All right, this is test 5811-01. D-WM-145's left eye is removed and placed on a table at the center of the testing chamber. Subject becomes heavily disoriented, displaying difficulties with movement until regaining composure after a span of 11 minutes. Eye is returned at the conclusion of testing. This is test 5811-02. D-WM-146's left eye is removed and applied to the test chamber atmosphere. Stability exists momentarily before air currents from the subject's movements cause rapid ocular dissolution. Vision is retained. SCP-5811 is determined to function for non-physical surface media. This is test 5811-03. D-WM-147's left eye is removed and is first applied to a powered light bulb in the chamber, then the light emitted from said bulb. The light bulb application yields expected results of blindness. The light application visuals are described to be gentle yet yearning. The eye vanishes. This is test 5811-04. Researcher Alexandra Maxwell, backup supervisor on research team 5811, accidentally removes XYR post-orbital lobe while sleepwalking. On reporting an anomalous incident, security teams are dispatched to XYR bedroom and retrieve the lobe, which is put into cryogenic storage. Note: appeals from researcher A. Maxwell to remove the lobe from storage have been rejected. This is test 5811-05. Based on the results of test 5811-04, D-WM-148 is asked to remove their own post-orbital lobe. D-WM-148 is motionless for 13 seconds until vocalizing that they made a misplacement. Both D-WM-148 and researcher Rados C. Stanek, the appointed testing supervisor, are rendered unconscious. Medical personnel find that the brains of both subjects are in REM sleep, displaying identical neurological patterns. Neither regain consciousness. This is a note. Previous proposals to use SCP-5811 as an auxiliary tool alongside SCP-3484 have been unanimously rejected. Researcher A. Maxwell has been appointed as the new testing supervisor. This is test 5811-06. Researcher A. Maxwell draws 6 renditions of a human eye, each to varying degrees of detail and abstraction. Attempts are then made to remove each drawing from the paper and apply them to the chamber wall. Attempts are successful. This is test 5811-07. Test 5811-06 is repeated with photographed eyes, eyes drawn by other personnel, shapes drawn by personnel following set instructions. Outcomes are meant to resemble abstracted eyes without the intent being stated in the instructions. SCP-5811 succeeds on the photographs in the first set of drawings but fails on the second. The anomaly is hypothesized to be dependent on original intent for a structure to qualify as an eye. Test 5811-08. SCP-5811 is successfully performed on a handheld camera. Test 5811-09. SCP-5811 is successfully performed on a 144mm reflector telescope. Test 5811-10. SCP-5811 is successfully performed on a digital copy of the film The Wizard of Oz. The eyes of a Munchkin background character are extricated from the screen playing the film and are placed separate of it for the duration of the film's length, with the character monitored for any abnormalities. Initially, the character displays slight disorientation, but follows the script for the remainder of their time on screen. The eyes vanish on conclusion of the film. On replay, the character remains eyeless and briefly follows the script until waving at the cast and sitting away from the central events, craning their head as if to stare upwards. Behavior is consistent across subsequent replays. No other effects to the film are present. Test 5811-11. All mentions of the eyes of the character Jordan Baker, present in a copy of the novel The Great Gatsby, are concurrently removed. The plot experiences no changes, though the character is significantly more withdrawn than normal, often described facing the sky and, in one case, holding a telescope not present in the original story. Her last appearance is in Chapter 7, where she abandons the main cast after saying she needs some time to think. The character is completely missing in all subsequent rereads. This is Test 5811-12. D-W-145, despite having been amnesticized on the exact instructions, performs SCP-5811 on herself while in her chamber. She removes her left eye and, based on security footage of her hand phasing through her head, places it within her mental headspace. The same action is performed on the right eye. Pausing for a moment, she vocalizes that she gets what's going on now and vanishes. Security are unable to locate D-W-146 in or around the vicinity of the testing facility. This is Test 5811-13. Researcher A. Maxwell records XYR temporarily self-enacting SCP-5811. The footage is then replayed on a computer screen within the chamber. All security cameras in the chamber simultaneously deactivate. Note: Researcher A. Maxwell has been detained. On footage loss, security teams successfully breached the chamber and subdued Researcher A. Maxwell before XE could misuse SCP-5811. Within the chamber were anomaly extricated security camera lenses, drawings of telescopes, and drawings of the post-orbital lobe to varying degrees of detail. The computer screen was missing. Researcher A. Maxwell has failed to provide any explanation for XYR actions. No mimetic interrogation methods have yielded results. It is by the consensus agreement of the Board of Secure Testing, the Board of Personnel Management, and the Board of Personnel Conduct that Researcher A. Maxwell be removed from SCP-5811 research and reassigned to unrelated work. The boards further agree that Researcher A. Maxwell be amnesticized to remove all information on the instructions of the anomaly, with XYR rank demoted from Class B to Class C, effective immediately. At this time, the boards deem removal from the Foundation to be unnecessary. Researcher Yasmin Cater has been appointed as the new testing supervisor. Addendum 5811-1, Discovery. SCP-5811 was discovered following the disappearance of Dr. Xenia Langley, Researcher A. Maxwell's sibling, on 14/03/2035. Dr. Langley, who was working at the University of Tokyo at Katama Observatory, abruptly input telescope positioning commands independent of observatory operations and was observed at 0334 rushing from staff quarters to the TAO 6.5 meter telescope. Persons investigating the telescope's interior found no traces of Dr. Langley. In ZHER room, the instructions to SCP-5811 were typed into a text file paired with a message reading, "I thought up a way out, Alex. It's going to work." Researcher A. Maxwell reported having no prior knowledge on Dr. Langley's actions. The telescope was trained on NGC 6543, which is the Cat's Eye Nebula. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was SCP-5811. Dismissed.